Hey guys, it's May 9th, 2023, but what I want to do is I want to back the truck up. Okay, I want to back the truck up. A couple years ago, I started talking about Alcaraz and all this stuff, and it's on YouTube, Twitter, everywhere, about everything he brings to the table. But I want to back the truck up even further. Okay, just a tremendous shout out and acknowledgement of one Carlos Alcaraz. I think it's very important that everybody understands when you see something on the Pro Tour, a lot of times the cards you're dealt as a youngster, okay, those are the cards you're dealing on the Pro Tour. I get it, you're gonna get bigger, stronger, faster, okay, you can adjust and modify things, but at the end of the day, the technical base biomechanically on his forehand and backhand is rock solid. There's a lot of Agassi in there, which I like, compact strokes, everything on the hitting side. People have to understand, one crazy grip, all right, can ruin someone's career, okay, or a crazy backswing, or maybe the elbow coming too close, or a bubble loop on the backhand. Just think about that. Okay, because we're all looking on the outside, and we'll get to the inside in a minute. But when you look at Alcaraz, okay, it's a complete package, and you don't see any big technical flaws, like a different grip that maybe he hits too much spin. He can grab it, he can drive it. Okay, the grips are big time, the strokes are major league. Okay, I cannot say enough, okay, about his coach, because this all started long ago, all right? And like I said, a crazy grip, a crazy backswing. That's why having, the right coach that understands the technical part is critical. The problem is most of the parents think the coach has a very good understanding of this, but there's a difference between junior, college, and pro, and there's a big difference between, a good player, a great player, and world-class technique. And on the forehand side and the backhand, obviously it's very high level, but I'll say it again, one grip, the whole landscape changes, okay? The whole landscape changes. That's number one on the forehand and backhand. Now, everybody talks about the drop shot and how I said long ago, he's gonna change not only the way a lot of the pros try to add things to their game, but he's gonna change the way people teach the game. Because when you're the leader in the clubhouse, it's a copycat situation. Just like if somebody became number one and they hit a righty forehand and a lefty forehand, that would change the whole teaching methodology around the world probably, because that people think, okay, it's okay to do that. Well, now more people are teaching the drop shot, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way life goes. But back to the drop shot. That didn't start yesterday. That started 5, 6, 7, him messing around with the racket, trying a lot of drop shots. But once again, Juan Carlos, by probably saying positive air, keep doing it. Okay, he could see the cotton hands, the velvet touch, the magician. The more you miss, the more you're gonna make. The more you fail, the more you're gonna succeed. And he saw that drop shot long ago and never discouraged it. So you can see with Alcaraz, that drop shot is baked in double or even triple crispy, all right? Because he'll do it on a break point, he does it on a tiebreaker. Guys, that's a belief. That's a belief that's deep. A lot of times people will drop shot when you should, the sun is shining, the ball is short. This guy can hit it from anywhere on the court with precision, and he's not afraid to try it, okay? And he's doing it out of the box when people don't expect it. And he's putting the best players in the world in the freezer. They're in the freezer, they don't even move. So this starts long ago, and I think that's the art of coaching. Once again, Juan Carlos deserves an enormous amount of credit. I have so much respect for how he's put this together. Not just the technical on the forehand and backhand, but letting his game evolve, and knowing that he had soft hands, and not discouraging that drop shot. And all the times he missed, at 12, 13, 14, 15, looking at a bigger picture. That's the art of coaching. That's junior development. Okay, it's not junior final destination. Now, he was probably thinking this can flow into his game someday. And this is why everybody now talks about it. But this started long ago. Positive errors. Don't be afraid to try things. Work on your game. And he knew that he had soft hands and he wanted to exploit it. Now, because of that, he sneaks into the net like Batman, Spider-Man, Aquaman. The guy flies into the net and he has the feel. He has the touch. His hands are like cotton. All right? And once again, he's missed a lot of volleys probably in practice, in the juniors, okay? And that's why he makes a lot now. Like the great Sampers and other guys who are just kind of more proficient at the net. But the minute you're off balance, he has that amazing first step. Then once he starts running, he's turbo on steroids like the game has never seen. And so he'll take that ball in the air, bang, and hit a drop volley and break your ankle, or he'll stick it down the line. Once again, great coaching by Juan Carlos, okay? A whole nother game. This didn't happen a year ago or 2 years ago. This was in the oven, bubbling up, building and building and building. And that's what this is all about. It's not where you start, it's where you finish, okay? So the coaching at a young age is amazing. How his game was put together and taken advantage of his strengths, which is the foot speed. And he knew that he was a showman, an artist, like he was on Broadway performing, okay? Very, very important, okay? Very important to let him express himself, okay? I mean, there is a fine line between courage and stupidity. I get that. There's a fine line between courage and stupidity, but at the end of the day, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Okay, so this is very, very important when you're building a player, okay? He could have been taught with a crazy grip. He could have been taught 10 feet behind a baseline, hitting lobsters with extra butter, 10 feet over the net. Who knows how he could have been taught? He could have been taught maybe a one-handed backhand. But at the end of the day, okay, when you have a player and you got to project, you got to look to the future, kind of like I did with Venus and Serena and many others, you know, how this thing's going to be when you're bigger, stronger, faster, older, more mature. Are you missing shots because you're not mature? Or are you missing shots because you got little arms and legs? Or are you missing shots because of whatever reason? It's not black and white. Don't put the player in a box. Be like Alcaraz, Juan Carlos, build a new box. And now everybody, it's okay to drop shot. People are going to mold their game after this guy. Very, very important. I cannot stress it enough. Return a serve, okay? He can stand way back and he'll stand way in. He'll take your serve, crack it, and come in. That didn't start yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. That started long ago. And I bet the guy practices a lot of return of serves. Miss, 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 miss. Miss, miss, make, make, miss, make, miss, make, miss. That's the way this thing goes. But everybody teaches people just to get it back. I get that. That's rule number one. I tell people, rule number one, get it back. Rule number two, see rule number one. I get that. But for him to take the best serves in the world, on the rise, give you a surprise, and have the confidence to hit it and come to the net on clay, that started long ago. Positive errors, building courage. Because at the end of the day, when you get the big C, okay, when you get the big C, confidence breeds confidence. A lot of these things you see, okay, started long ago. And his coach, okay, growing up, deserves an enormous amount of credit. I cannot stress that enough, because this is kind of what I do, and I can see all the roadblocks and the errors and stuff that occurred in practice, but they could see what was coming down the road. You got to be a visionary. You got to project for the future, okay? And this is what it's all about. Today's important, but tomorrow is more important. Now, the mental part. This young man has gratitude, all right? He's grounded, he's thankful, he's appreciative. And having someone like Juan Carlos Ferrer, who's been there, done that, knows, okay, his life is going to change, okay? his bank account's going to change. Everything's going to change, okay? Everybody like myself is already anointing him to greatness. But at the end of the day, because Juan Carlos, okay, the feisty mosquito, who's now coaching Carlito, okay, he knows it's all about one thing. Anybody, anytime, anywhere, it's still about tennis. Everything around you is going to change. All you should worry about is one thing. I got to get better. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And you need that support system to remind you of that, okay? Remind you of that. The next thing, and everybody can take a page out of this playbook. You talk about flipping things in your mind. You talk about how to control the climate inside your body, all right? The guy makes a mistake and he can smile and he means it. A lot of guys smile because maybe they're not being as competitive, but that's the best way to flip the script, change the climate inside your body and smile, okay? Listen, the guy's not going undefeated. He's going to lose. He's going to miss. He's going to fail. There's going to be ups and downs. But this is a marathon. This is a long-term process, all right? But he does enough things amazing. He's a great role model, okay? But more importantly, the message today, more than anything, work on your game, develop all the shots, try to build your game around your assets. Take advantage of your speed. If you're quick and fast, build that into your game. Unfortunately, in junior tennis, a lot of times people try not to lose to win because they want a better ranking, they want a better UTR ranking. You know, you got to deal with the parents. Obviously, if you lose, they're going to go somewhere else. I get all that. But long-term process, I cannot stress enough, okay? The way his game has been put together is amazing. Now, let's go to the serve. When it's all said and done, okay, his kick serve is already one of the best in the world, okay? Biomechanically checks a lot of boxes. The first serve, there could be a little bit more of a turn in the elbow back further, but as time goes on, his serve will only get better. Okay, the percentage, I know he can cork at 135, but the first serve's only going to get better. And what I really like more than anything, the way he problem solves on the court, all right? He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. He's all about the competition. His thirst for competition. He just loves the battle. And that has to be the focus. Easier said than done. Because we've seen a lot of Johnny-come-latelys. We see people go in and go out. All right? So I just think the team around him, okay, from the beginning and what's going on now, it's amazing. Because this is not easy stuff, okay? Because we're all human. But his head's on, he has a great head on his shoulders, okay? And the way his game is developing, okay? He's going to be a factor on any surface, maybe a little more vulnerable on the grass. But at the end of the day, everybody has to understand where this started and what we're seeing now. Because I've just seen bad grips, bad backswings, you know, different mindset, okay, different people influencing you, you know, cost players millions of dollars on the tour, and they never optimize or maximize their ability. And I've seen this many, many times. That's why it's so important at a young age, okay, to get the technical part. Especially today, the game is much quicker and much faster, okay, than 10 years ago. 10 years ago, stroke mechanics at our all-time high, obviously movements at a premium, but stroke mechanics are at an all-time high, all right? The three big ticket items, forehand, backhand, and serve, you want to be as optimal as possible, and that starts at a young age, and I just have enormous respect for Juan Carlos Ferrer.